Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash. I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Welcome back into the woods to Oak Camp, where I'm having a bit of a festive camp as the run up to the middle point of the year is fast approaching. Christmas to many of us, and I'm using this opportunity to make some additional content for you folks who may need a bit more entertainment over these festive weeks. Maybe some of you have got time off work, more time to enjoy a video, and I'm encouraging people to send a question into me that I can answer around the fire and maybe give you some insight into our Chap journey or our journey to Chap Nirvana as chaps. So today's question comes from Hudson. And it is, let's have a look, what does he say? I am from Eastern Canada and we have very large changes in weather. As a 60-plus-year-old male, how should I become more age-appropriately stylish on a budget? Thank you in advance. Okay, so really, if I can sort of narrow down what Hudson is asking me, he's from a very changeable environment in this part, in Canada, Eastern Canada, and as a slightly older gentleman, over 60, he's interested in dressing better, but without spending a pile of money. So firstly, great to hear from you. I've been to Eastern Canada a few times myself, lovely part of the world. In fact, I took my honeymoon there, ending up in Vancouver, travelling through some of the hinterland from Edmonton all the way across Kamloops and all that sort of area. Very fond memories of Eastern Canada. But of course, I do remember just how cold it can get there in winter. I've been in Canada in winter and I recall minus 30 degrees skiing there. So you have got great variances in the environment, and I applaud your desire as well, right? Even as a maybe more mature gentleman, it does not mean that you have to dress in a certain way or follow the herd. Now, I'm guessing that the majority of your similar aged associates will be the sort of chaps who are wearing, you know, puffer jackets, flannel shirts, jeans, branded t-shirts with big logos on them, maybe the baseball cap, this sort of ubiquitous uniform of the wider world. And why shouldn't you have the advantages which come with dressing in a more stylish way? The advantages which include things like increased confidence. Who does not feel better when they are dressed well? We don't say you look like $1 million when you're dressed up because, you know, we imply they really do. It's because you feel so much more elevated in your appearance. Your status is enhanced in the eyes of other people. If you walk into a, I don't know, so we say a retail environment, and you walk in at exactly the same time as a guy who's wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and you are wearing a blazer and slacks, who do you think the sales agent will approach first to help with your shopping experience? They will, without even realizing it, subconsciously be drawn to the individual who is the best dressed, because it implies many social things like wealth, like education, like status. So dressing well does that for you. It, as I say, it improves the service you will receive in so many situations. You'll find yourself being upgraded to a better level. If you walk into a restaurant, they will seat you in a better table, which is more perhaps towards the front or the window, because they know that if patrons or potential patrons walking past look in, they see a well-dressed fellow dining in their establishment, it will enhance their appearance as well as an establishment which attracts quality people. So you will find yourself getting all sorts of advantages. And let's not forget the practicality, right? We don't just dress stylishly because it looks good. It is fundamentally a very practical way of dressing, and it is often financially a cheaper way of dressing, because if we invest in good quality clothing, it tends to stick around longer and we get more value for money out of it. So I'm going to give you some tips today which will help with your situation to help you become a more stylishly dressed gentleman in your area of changeable environment, but also taking into account the fact that you are in your 60s. So the first thing I'm going to say is really quite straightforward. let's get the basics first. Invest in classic, versatile clothing, which is going to be wearable across the widest variety of situations in your life circumstance. All right? It's all very well going out and buying fancy clothing, but if you don't do anything in your life which necessitates the wearing of fancy clothing, it's going to be a bit of a waste of money. So choose things which you know are going to fit in with your lifestyle, and of course choose colours which are going to be practically useful in your lifestyle too. Go for neutral colours like greys. If it's an outer garment, say black, lots of colours like that, which are going to be widely variable. Navy blue is also a very good, solid performing colour for you. So, some of the basics which I would suggest might be valuable for you would be, firstly, I know Canada gets really cold, so a good cashmere overcoat will be an excellent purchase. Something which goes beyond the knee, halfway down the calf, if you can find something like that. These are the traditional greatcoats of old. It'll be a thick gauge cashmere or woolen material, or likely a blend of both of those materials. And it will be warm. It should be relatively light if it's made of cashmere, which is it's quite a light material within itself. And it's, I would say, in a black, a grey, or a navy colour. And that is something which you will have for the remainder of your life. It will always attract the attention of people around you, and it will keep you warm in the coldest of winters as well. A good woolen blazer will be useful for you too. A navy blazer made of 100% wool is also a solid performer in the wardrobe. People often call the blazer the little black dress for men, because it's that garment you can reach for when you're not sure of what to wear, because it's got so many bases covered. And again, it can be warm. It's made of wool. It's a nice jacket. It can be layered. You can wear a waistcoat under it. You can wear a cashmere sweater under it. It can be something which will keep you warm in all different points of the climate. Goodyear welted boots, I would suggest, will be the thing for your feet. So Goodyear welted because they last longer, they're stronger construction. If you get something like a commando sole or a day-night sole, it's ideal for cold, wet times of the year. But investing in that a little bit more, in a good basic, I would say, like a full brogue dress boot, in a good serviceable colour like black or burgundy, you're going to be covered. And then things like your trousers, right? Grey flannel slacks are warmer than jeans, and they are without doubt one of the most stylish pairs of trousers a gentleman can wear. If it's for a more casual situation you're looking for, and perhaps chinos are too light for the environment in which you live, think of corduroy, a good cotton, thick textured material which also keeps the body warm and insulated in the colder times of year. Now, my second tip for you relates to the point in your question where you said you are on a budget and you want to keep this affordable. And when a tight budget is to be, your master, you can always take the pre-owned route, or a couple of other routes as well, which I will suggest. So first of all, think of thrift shops, or charity shops as we call them here in the UK, or any other pre-owned stores which you may know of in your locality, because you will be amazed at the bargains which you can achieve in such situations. Now, we talked about overcoats. They are not really that fashionable in the modern era. However, a generation ago, every man owned one. So you will find many of that last generation of overcoats are now circulating through the thrift stores for pennies. I mean, even today, I had an email off a gentleman who told me that he just picked up an amazing Crombie cashmere overcoat in a thrift store, I think for $7 US. And that garment, if you were to try and track one down today, would probably cost close to £1,000 for a good quality Crombie overcoat. Well, you can't buy Crombie anymore, they're no longer in business. But, the point is, you don't have to have a thick wallet to get spectacular clothing if you go down the pre-owned route. And also there are sales, clearances, coming up to the festive period. There's going to be Black Friday sales. There's going to be New Year sales where the stores are getting rid of all their winter lines and ready to get their spring clothing in. So they want to get rid of all their cooler climate stuff. You can buy it at this time of year at a bargain price, put it away, it'll be ready for the next winter. Don't always think a few seasons ahead when it comes to buying clothes. If you buy something which is in season, you're going to be paying top price for it. So think a season ahead, because it's going to happen. There is going to be a spring, there is going to be a winter, there's nothing we can do about it. Online routes are another great way to get those prices down, because it allows you to use sites like eBay and Vinted, or the plethora of other, pre-owned sites and bargain sites that you can get your hands on things which you wouldn't be able to track down maybe in your locality, but you can get from another part of the world by all you have to do is pay for the postage. So well worth not limiting yourself to bricks and mortar and physical shopping opportunities. Certainly eBay has been my biggest friend when it's been the fleshing out of my wardrobe, and certainly the signature items like overcoats, footwear, expensive items, almost all of mine have come from eBay at a ridiculously reduced price. And don't forget, there are things like outlet stores where brands will sell off their kit a little cheaper. There might be factory stores within your orbit of ability to travel to. Only last week, I went to the Crombie knitwear factory in South Wales, here in the UK, where I was able to pick up a number of cashmere scarves and socks and other knitwear items at a fraction of their retail price, and I bought them directly from the factory store because they were holding a sale. It was worth me driving 100 miles because I saved hundreds of pounds in the cost. So keep an eye on things like that, be aware of it. And deals and discounts, go searching out for coupons online or in other parts of the world that you encounter where you can get the prices down and in your affordable realm. But before you go out and do all that shopping, and something I should have said at the beginning really, is take an audit of what you actually need. Stand in front of your wardrobe, get your notepad and pen and say, right, okay, well, what I think I need is a woolen blazer, an overcoat, a pair of grey flannel slacks and a pair of burgundy corduroy trousers. I don't have them at the moment. That's what I'm going to seek out. Then write it down. You've got it in front of you, you've got something to work on, you've got targets to achieve. You can actually use that information. These are the signature pieces from which you can build around your wardrobe. Go out, track them down, and that way you can get exactly what you need rather than buying things just because you see them at a good price. When you're first starting to improve your style, one of the ways you can really boost and enhance your appearance for virtually no money is to focus in on the accessories, because these are quite small items. They can be picked up at very modest prices, but when you apply them to your current items of clothing, it whacks the formality level, the style level right up, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. So the sort of things I'm talking about is things you might already own, but you may not wear that often. Maybe a nice scarf or two. You might be used to wearing, a puffer jacket done right up. Instead of that, wear a nice scarf. Texture, pattern, colour. You're suddenly introducing something more interesting to your outfit. When you get the cashmere overcoat that you will be wearing in the winter in the future, instead of that puffer jacket, that cashmere scarf is going to enhance those quite dull colours which such garments traditionally are made of, black, grey and navy blue. It's the scarf which brings that little pop of colour. Wear a watch. If you're not in the habit of wearing a watch, start wearing one. It's the mark of the stylish man. It just shows you value time and you've put a watch on your wrist in order to do so. The other things that you can do for your outfit is wear a tie, right? If you're in the habit of wearing a sports jacket and a shirt, but you don't wear a tie, which is, the current sort of trend, start wearing a tie. Ties can cost, a couple of pounds from a thrift store, charity store. Again, they're not very fashionable. They can be picked up for a song, but they can really add colour, texture and pattern again to your outfit. And when you wear a tie, it really elevates your standing. When you go into a restaurant wearing a tie, they start to call you sir and offer you definitely preferential service. Pocket square the same. If you own a garment which has a breast pocket like a sports jacket, a tweed jacket, a blazer, that breast pocket needs a pocket square in it. Never leave the house without the pocket square. Lots of little things like that. the accessories can make a difference without actually spending a lot of money. So there we go, Hudson. I hope some of those tips will be useful for you. Remember, all right, your style is an expression of your taste, of your character. And whilst I've given you some ideas today as to how you could enhance your style at a modest cost, also considering the environment in which you live and also your age, what I've talked about today is age appropriate for any of us. It would not matter if you were 25 or 75. You can take elements of what I've said today and apply it to your own style philosophy. Just do it within the boundaries of what makes you feel comfortable. Let me know how you get on. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, click the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel, you can just leave a comment, you can drop me an email, you could buy me a coffee, one-off thing, or you could even become a patron. And then you can benefit from the additional video content which I make each and every week for my exclusive patrons. So, until the next time, take care. Dress with more style, regardless of your age and wherever you live, and you will find the world unfolding for you. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon.